So I promised that I would do this video tonight, regardless of how tired I am, and I am tired. I'm exhausted. Um, yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it? So the reason why I haven't posted anything in, I guess it's been about 3 weeks now, is because I am back at work again. I decided to go back to work and be gainfully employed. And it's something that, yeah. So what am I doing? I'm working in landscaping. That's what I did back in the 90s. I also did a season in 2011. And, it's something that I've been contemplating doing for about the last 6 months now. Um, and why landscaping rather than some other line of work? Well, because I love being outdoors, for one thing, and I like being physically active. And so, what this does is I get to be outdoors, I get to be physically active, and I mean hardcore physically active. This would, you know, any kind of exercise program I was doing before, running, cycling, weight training, whatever, cross training, is nothing compared to the hard labor that I'm engaging in now in landscaping. Now, let me, first of all, there's two different kinds of landscaping, really. Well, there's more than two, but basically there's two different kinds. There's landscape maintenance. Those are the guys that go around cutting grass. And then there's landscape construction. That's what I'm doing, landscape construction, building landscapes like walls, patios, driveways, ponds, whatever, anything associated with the outside of someone's property. That's what I'm doing. Garden designs as well, planting trees, shrubs, perennials, all of that stuff. And a lot of it is, it's just plain right down grunt work. Moving dirt is literally what a lot of it entails. And I've moved a lot of dirt in the last 2 weeks. This is, how long I've been working for, basically, so far. And yeah, wow. And we're talking about 9 to 10 hour days. I get up at 5 in the morning, and I don't start at 5. I start at anywhere like between 7, 7:30. Finish at anywhere between 5 and 6 o'clock, sometimes 6:30. Work some Saturdays. So the nice thing about it, though, is I get my winters off. 4 months, I get a break, give me a chance to head out to Costa Rica. So I've been busy doing that, and I've just been too exhausted at the end of the day to put a video up. The other thing that I have done is that's been keeping me quite busy as well, but in a different way. I bought a condominium here in Toronto, in a trendy part of Toronto, and it's not built yet. They've actually started digging ground. About 75% of it, maybe more by now, has been sold. And so, yeah, I love the neighborhood. It's Queen West. The condominium is, if you're familiar with Toronto at all, if you know Trinity Bellwood Park, it's not too far away from there, a little bit further west on Queen Street, and near the Drake and the Gladstone. It's in a really cool area, quite popular. And yeah, I did it. Bought a condo. I never thought I was going to do that. Like 6 months ago, if you would have told me that I was going to buy a condo, I would have said you're crazy. But there's reasons why I changed my mind on that point of view. And a part of it was an investment advisor whose opinion I do highly regard. when I was I had, I have meetings with her every so many months to rebalance my portfolio, and we were literally restructuring my portfolio so that it is more or less a discretionary account, so that I don't need to get a phone call every time a trade is taking place. Basically, I have it's called the A Plus plan with Dominion Securities, and I don't want to get into all the details with it, but basically, supposedly, I've got the most brightest minds taking care of my portfolio. Yeah, we'll see how that works out. So yeah, that way I don't have to think about it when I'm at work and that kind of stuff. But anyways, when I was with her, I said, look, you know what? I still want to buy a property. And at that time I was looking like out in the country and out in remote areas, where real estate is cheap and I can get a decent piece of land. But, there was always the dilemma of me being far away from my kids, who I want to be close to still now, because they're teenagers. She just basically suggested that why don't I just buy a condo, and so that'll just get me in the market, the real estate market. And I thought about it, made perfect sense. And so at first, of course, being cheap, I'm looking at condos within a certain price range, but they're always further out, from the downtown core of Toronto. And I said, no, you know what? If I'm going to do a condo, I've got to do it right. Got to get the location right. So that's what I did, basically. Now, that's my personal life. That's it. Pretty boring, isn't it? Yeah. So, oh yeah, let's talk about diet. I am still doing the plant-based omnivore, eating, basically eating 100% plant-based 6 days out of the week, and then on the 7th day, I enjoy a meat dinner. And the two kinds of meat that I've more or less been I really haven't introduced any other kinds of meat. It's been the wild sockeye salmon and the New Zealand venison, and that's been it. And it's working really well. I think the decision to give up vegan, to give up 100% plant-based was very wise on my part. But now let's talk about veganism. That has been a real source of entertainment for me these days. Like I get home from work, I'm tired, and I see all these videos put out about Mazard and Durian Ryder and all this drama, conflict, and wow, it's wild stuff. Doesn't surprise me. You know what? I put out videos about over a year ago talking about these kinds of scenarios happening within veganism, because the reality is, this is the reality, guys. Veganism as a belief system, as a world view, is closed. It's inflexible. And what you get with that is those within that belief system or world view will, at first they attack those on the outside, and then they turn in within themselves and attack each other. It's a lifeless system of thought. It's dead. Veganism is dead. And that is why you're seeing the insanity, the circus that's on YouTube right now. That is the byproduct of veganism. And I know there's a lot of genuine vegans out there that are not as rigid, but still, the belief system itself is closed. And as long as it is, It cannot be alive. It cannot be dynamic. It's static. And you're going to continue to get these conflicts and this division within. And basically, vegans are taking each other down. So how do I feel about Mazard? Now we've got a whole bunch of people becoming little Mazards out there. They think this guy's a friggin' genius. He's intelligent. I don't think he's wise. I mean, he talks about having a 3-year-old daughter that he's still in a custody battle over with his wife or ex-wife. I don't know what their status is at this time. And having been through 2 divorces myself and having 3 children, I could tell you this: you should not be even in the situation that you are in, that you could even be implicated of any inappropriate behavior. Don't fool yourself. You think that there's not enough there for her lawyer to use against you? You got to be fucking crazy. I mean, divorce lawyers, they're brutal. And if your ex, if it's her intention to prevent you from seeing your child, she'll do whatever is necessary. Trust me on this one. You should be, your complete focus right now, Mazard, should be on your 3-year-old daughter. You shouldn't be playing around with this whole scene out in Chiang Mai or wherever the fuck it is, with Durian Ryder and all that. I mean, you don't need to be the hero going in there, taking him down. He's going to fall anyways. The guy's a fucking lunatic. And it's obvious. I mean, especially now, he's probably deficient in omega-3. His body's not converting the ALA into EPA and DHA. So his brain function is deteriorating. Freely is in the same situation too. I mean, but anyhow, you have your own agenda. I know that. Mazard, do not follow this man. If you think he's going to lead you to a better place, if you think he's going to come into the vegan community and somehow save it from itself and offer a better alternative than Durian Ryder and Freely, you're being fooled. You're being taken. Listen, get out of the cult. While you can, get out of the cult. It is a cult. And get your life back again. Remember what you were before you got involved with all of this. This is crazy stuff. It's fun to watch. It's totally entertaining, but yeah, it's destructive in the end. And if you don't watch it, it can do serious harm to you, whoever's out there who's embracing veganism as the answer to all the world's problems. Now, if you're just doing it for dietary reasons and that kind of thing, that's okay, Yeah, but embracing it as like a religion, as a political solution to all the world problems, big mistake. Yeah. Anyhow, I've talked long enough. I will be back, yes. Extremely busy, and it's really good. It's one thing I find liberating at this time is that I have stepped out of that whole scene. Not that I was really ever in it, because from my past videos, I've never bought into the whole vegan ideology. But even now, just being able to step out and look at it from an observer's point of view, it's pretty bizarre stuff. Trust me on this. Yeah, I think I'll leave it at that. Take care.